Stop what you're doing, because what I'm about to tell you is going to shock you. Imagine this. You've spent months preparing for your dream trip to the US. Your documents? Perfect. Your bank account? Check. You've got everything covered. Then you step into the embassy confident and hopeful. And then denied. Just like that. No explanation, no second chance. For millions of people across Asia, this isn't just a bad dream, it's a brutal reality. But why? Why are some countries rejected more than others? And most importantly, could you be next? Stay with me, because what you're about to hear will change how you see the US visa process forever. And if you've ever been rejected for a visa, comment denied below. Let's see how many of us have been through this. Let's talk about India, a country with millions of visa applicants every year. You'd think with its booming economy and strong ties with the US, getting a visa would be smooth sailing, right? Wrong. The visa rejection rate, around 30%, and that's for people with solid financials, travel history, and even sponsor letters. Raj had everything going for him: a stable job in Mumbai, a strong bank balance, and an approved leave of absence. His dream? To visit his cousin in New York and explore the Big Apple. He spent weeks preparing his documents, rehearsing interview questions, and making sure everything was in place. But when he finally sat across from the visa officer, it was over in less than 2 minutes. The officer barely looked at his papers before saying, "Sorry, denied." No explanation, no second chance. Just like that, Raj's American dream was crushed. Sounds unfair? Well, here's the truth. The US isn't just rejecting random applicants, they're strategic about who they approve. Why are so many Indians being denied? Overstay fears. The US knows that many Indian travelers don't return home. In 2020, over 11,000 Indian nationals overstayed their visas, raising red flags for new applicants. Economic screening. If they suspect you don't have enough ties to India, like a stable job or family, you're seen as a flight risk. High demand, tougher screening. With record numbers of Indian applicants, the US has tightened approvals to filter out potential risks. Indian students and professionals bring billions to the US economy every year, yet many still face roadblocks that kill opportunities before they even begin. Think about it. How many skilled workers, talented students, and entrepreneurs are losing out because of a flawed system? If you're planning to apply, make sure you have a strong case, clear financials, proof of return, and confidence in your interview. And if you've ever faced a visa rejection, share your experience in the comments. Let's make some noise. If you think India has it bad, wait till you hear about a country where even millionaires get rejected. Don't forget to smash that like button if you found this useful. Imagine you're a successful entrepreneur from China, eager to attend a prestigious tech conference in Silicon Valley. With a thriving business and a net worth in the millions, you confidently apply for a US visa, anticipating no issues. However, during the interview, the consular officer, after a brief glance at your impeccable documents, states, "Sorry, denied." No detailed explanation is provided, leaving you bewildered and your professional aspirations unfulfilled. Chinese nationals have faced significant hurdles when applying for US visas. In fiscal year 2021, the refusal rate for B category visas, business and tourism, for Chinese citizens soared to approximately 79%. Although this rate decreased to around 30% in 2022 and further to 26.6% in 2023, the numbers remain concerning. Several factors contribute to these high refusal rates. Political tensions, ongoing geopolitical disputes between the US and China have led to increased scrutiny of Chinese visa applicants. Concerns about espionage and intellectual property theft have heightened vigilance. Economic and technological competition. As China emerges as a global tech leader, the US has become cautious about potential technology transfers affecting visa approvals for Chinese professionals and students in STEM fields. Security concerns. The US government maintains stringent security protocols, leading to higher scrutiny of applicants from nations perceived as potential threats. Consider Mei, a distinguished AI researcher from Beijing. She received an invitation to present her groundbreaking work at an international symposium in San Francisco. Despite her credentials and clear intentions, her visa application was denied. This refusal not only hindered her professional growth, but also deprived the global community of valuable insights. These visa challenges have far-reaching consequences. Academic collaborations. Chinese scholars contribute significantly to global research. Visa refusals disrupt academic exchanges, slowing scientific progress. Economic impact. Chinese tourists and business professionals play a vital role in the US economy. High refusal rates can lead to decreased economic interactions, affecting both nations. Personal aspirations. For many Chinese citizens, visiting the US symbolizes personal achievement and global integration. Unexplained denials can lead to disillusionment and strained diplomatic relations. Have you or someone you know faced similar visa challenges? What strategies did you employ to navigate the process? Do you believe the current visa policies are justified, or do they require reform? Share your thoughts and stories in the comments below. Your insights can provide guidance and support to others in the community. While China's visa challenges are notable, other countries face even stricter US visa policies. In our upcoming segment, we'll explore a nation where rejection rates are alarmingly high, affecting applicants across various demographics. This eye-opening discussion will shed light on the complexities of global visa dynamics. Don't miss it. If you found this discussion informative, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Your support enables us to continue exploring topics that matter to you and keeps you informed about global travel and immigration trends. Maria, a hardworking nurse from Manila, finally has the chance to visit her sister in Los Angeles. She's got everything in order: stable job, bank statements, even a round-trip ticket. She's excited, nervous, but hopeful. She walks into the US Embassy, hands over her perfectly prepared documents, and waits. The officer barely glances at them before saying, "Sorry, you don't qualify." No explanation, no second chance. Just like that, Maria's American dream is shattered in less than 2 minutes. Sound unfair? Well, it happens more often than you think. If you're from the Philippines and applying for a US visa, you better be prepared for rejection. The refusal rate for Filipinos? Between 27% and 30%. That means nearly 1 in 3 applicants get denied, sometimes without even knowing why. And here's the kicker: many of those denied have strong financial ties, steady jobs, and family waiting for them back home. So why does this keep happening? The US is deeply concerned about overstay. Filipinos have a long history of visiting the US on tourist visas and never coming back. In fact, tens of thousands of Filipinos are currently living in the US without legal status. To the US immigration system, this is a huge red flag. They assume that if you're coming to visit, there's a chance you might not leave. Even if you're just planning a short trip, they still might deny you because of this general suspicion. They don't have to explain why they rejected you. They don't owe you a reason. It's one of the most frustrating parts of the process. You could be completely qualified, like Maria, and still walk out of the embassy empty-handed. And the consequences are brutal. Families separated for years. People missing out on weddings, graduations, and even funerals. Hard-working professionals losing career-changing opportunities. So, if you're Filipino and applying for a US visa, how do you increase your chances? Here's some tips. Show strong ties to the Philippines, a steady job, property ownership, or family you care for. Be honest but concise. Too much information can actually hurt your case. Have proof of previous travel. If you've been to other countries and returned, it helps. Prepare for the worst, because even with everything right, you still might get denied. Have you or someone you know been rejected for a US visa? Drop your story in the comments. Let's talk about it. Trust me, if you think the Philippines has it bad, wait until you hear about number 6, where almost no one gets approved. Stay tuned. Ali, a 28-year-old engineer from Lahore, spent months preparing his US visa application. He had a stable job, a company sponsorship, and even previous travel history to the UAE and Malaysia. He wasn't looking to immigrate, just a short trip to attend his sister's wedding in New York. He walks into the US Embassy, confident. The officer asks him a few quick questions, flips through his documents, and without hesitation says, "Sorry, your visa is denied." No reason, no second chance. Just like that, his dream of attending his sister's wedding disappears. And Ali isn't alone. This happens to thousands of Pakistanis every year. If you're from Pakistan, getting a US visa is like winning the lottery. The rejection rate, over 60%. That means more than 6 out of 10 applicants are denied, whether they're students, doctors, engineers, or even senior professionals. And the worst part, many don't even know why. Why is the US rejecting Pakistanis? High-risk label. The US sees Pakistan as a country with a high risk of visa overstays and illegal immigration. In simple terms, they assume you won't return. Terrorism concerns. Pakistan has been linked to security issues in the past, and unfortunately, this has affected ordinary travelers who have nothing to do with politics. Strict vetting process. Even students with full scholarships and professionals with strong careers struggle to get approvals. This visa crisis hurts thousands of Pakistanis every year. Students lose scholarships and are forced to study elsewhere. Professionals miss out on international job opportunities. Families stay separated for years. It's not just frustrating, it's life-changing. What can you do? If you're applying, be ready for an uphill battle. Show strong ties to Pakistan, a stable job, family, property ownership. Keep answers short and confident. Officers don't like long explanations. Have proof of past travel. It helps prove you will return. Have you or someone you know been denied a US visa? Share your story in the comments. Let's discuss this together. And trust me, if you think Pakistan has it bad, wait until you hear about number 6, where approvals are almost impossible. Stay tuned. You think getting a US visa is tough? Try being Iranian. No, really, it's nearly impossible. How impossible? Let's put it this way. If you're Iranian and applying for a US visa, you might as well buy a lottery ticket instead because your chances are about the same. Approval rate, less than 5%. That means for every 100 Iranians who apply, 95 plus get rejected. No explanations, no appeals, just a cold, hard no. Take Reza. Guy's brilliant, graduated top of his class in Tehran, got accepted into a prestigious US university with a full scholarship. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, not in this world. He applies for a visa, excited about his future. The embassy officer takes one look at his passport, asks a few robotic questions, and sorry, you don't qualify. No reason, no discussion, just a door slammed in his face. And this isn't some rare case. It happens to thousands of Iranians every year. Why is it so hard for Iranians? Political tensions, US-Iran relations? Let's just say they've been on "it's complicated" status for the past 40 years. This has led to extreme travel restrictions. The travel ban, thanks to the infamous Muslim ban from past administrations, Iranians have been locked out of the US for years. Even after updates, visa approvals remain next to impossible. Security concerns, the US sees Iran as a high-risk country, meaning even students and professionals get treated like potential threats. Brilliant students lose scholarships. Families stay separated for decades. Even medical patients get denied emergency visas. And the worst part? There's no way around it. Iranians can't even apply for a simple tourist visa to Disneyland. It's a hard no. If you're Iranian, your best bet, apply through a third country, but even then, it's a gamble. Have you or someone you know faced a visa nightmare? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's get the conversation going. And trust me, if you think Iran has it bad, wait till you see what's happening at number 5. It's just as shocking. Smash that like button if you're loving this series, and don't forget to subscribe. You won't believe what's coming next. Imagine applying for a US visa, crossing your fingers, hoping for the best, but deep down, you already know it's a lost cause. If you're from Afghanistan, that's not just a feeling, it's a brutal reality. How bad is it? Let's put it this way. If you're Afghan and trying to visit the US, your visa application is probably getting rejected before the ink dries. Approval rate, less than 5%. Translation, for every 100 Afghans who apply, over 95 will be denied. That's if the US even processes their application, because right now, the embassy barely functions. Why are Afghans shut out? Political instability. After the Taliban takeover in 2021, US-Afghanistan relations took a nosedive. The embassy in Kabul shut down, and the few Afghans who do get visas must apply through a third country, if they're lucky. Security concerns. The US sees Afghan nationals as a high-risk group due to ongoing conflicts. Even people with no ties to terrorism or crime get painted with the same brush. Visa processing, non-existent. With the US embassy closed in Kabul, there's almost no way to even apply. Many Afghans have to travel to Pakistan or other countries just to try, and most don't make it past the first step. Farid was a translator for the US military. He risked his life working alongside American troops, believing in the promise that he and his family would be protected. When Kabul fell, he knew he had to get out. He applied for a special immigrant visa, SIV, the same one promised to Afghans who helped the US. He waited, months passed, then rejected. No explanation, no appeal, just sorry, we can't process your request. Farid's dream of a safe future, crushed. He now hides in Afghanistan, constantly fearing for his life. The real-world impact. Families are separated forever. Former US allies are left behind in danger. Even those with legitimate reasons to travel can't escape. The US has promised to help Afghan refugees, but visa approvals remain painfully slow. Most Afghans looking for a better life, they're stuck. What do you think? Should the US make it easier for Afghans who helped American forces? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And trust me, if you thought Afghanistan had it bad, wait till you hear about number 4. It's even worse. In Bangladesh, applying for a US visa feels less like a process and more like a gamble, where the house always wins. You can have the perfect application, a great job, a strong bank balance, a spotless travel history, and still walk out empty-handed. Rejection rate over 55%. That means if 2 people apply, chances are at least 1 will be denied. No explanation, no appeal, just a cold scripted, you don't qualify. Take Faisal, for example, a young entrepreneur who built a thriving online business, paying taxes and employing people in Dhaka. He wasn't looking to stay forever in the US, just a short trip to an industry expo in Chicago. He practiced his answers, gathered every required document, even booked his return flight in advance. But at the embassy, the officer barely glanced at his papers before stamping denied. Faisal asked, but why? The officer's answer? I can't tell you. Why so many rejections? Overstay fears the US assumes too many Bangladeshis won't return home. Even those with proof of a stable life in Bangladesh get rejected. Weak diplomatic influence, Bangladesh doesn't hold as much weight in US foreign policy, so applicants face stricter scrutiny. Pre-decided outcomes? Many applicants report that officers don't even check their supporting documents. Some believe decisions are made before the interview even starts. The real-world consequences: students lose scholarships, families remain separated, talented professionals miss out on opportunities. What do you think? Should Bangladeshis get fairer chances? Drop your thoughts below. And if you think 55% rejection is bad, number 3 is even worse. Stick around. You won't believe how bad it gets. Getting a US visa in Nepal isn't just difficult, it's unpredictable. You can meet all the requirements, provide flawless documents, and still walk out of the embassy rejected. Rejection rate? A brutal 35 to 40%. That means out of every 10 applicants, at least 4 are sent home disappointed. But why? Nepalese applicants are often flagged as high risk for illegal immigration. US officials fear that many won't return home once they arrive. But here's the irony: most Nepalis just want to visit, work temporarily, or study, not stay forever. Yet, because Nepal is sandwiched between India and China, 2 countries with tense US relations, visa officers scrutinize every application like they're solving a crime. Take Rajesh, a hard-working tour guide from Kathmandu. He spent years saving up for a dream vacation to the US. He booked his flights, planned his itinerary, and even got a letter from his employer guaranteeing his return. At the embassy, he was polite, prepared, and confident. The visa officer looked at him for 30 seconds, then handed him a rejection letter. No explanation, no second chance. Rajesh was stunned. He had friends who got approved with weaker applications, yet he, someone with a stable job and financial backing, was denied. He later learned that many Nepalese face the same fate. Why does this happen? Overstay concerns. The US assumes too many Nepalese visitors won't leave after their visa expires. Pre-decided rejections? Many applicants report that officers don't even glance at their supporting documents. Lack of diplomatic influence. Nepal, unlike bigger nations, doesn't have strong leverage in US foreign policy. Real-world consequences. Students lose scholarships and educational opportunities. Families remain separated for years. Job seekers miss out on career-changing opportunities. What do you think? Should Nepalese applicants get a fairer process? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you think this is unfair, wait until you see number 2. Smash that like button if you believe this system needs change. Sanjay had everything ready. His documents, proof of funds, a solid travel history. He was planning a short trip to visit his cousin in New York. Exciting, right? Except there's just one problem. His visa appointment scheduled for 11 months later. 11 months just to sit in front of an officer for 3 minutes. And when the day finally came, denied. No explanation. Just a rejection letter and the classic, "You do not qualify." And just like that, a year of waiting was completely wasted. Applying for a US visa in Sri Lanka feels like playing a game rigged against you. Insanely long wait times. Some people wait over a year just to get an interview. Brutal rejection rates. Even with perfect paperwork, strong financials, and travel history, officers reject people in seconds. Zero transparency, many applicants never find out why they were denied, no second chances, no appeals, just an expensive dead end. Sanjay wasn't alone. Thousands of Sri Lankans face the same fate. Students miss scholarships because their visa never gets approved in time. Families remain separated because approvals take forever. Tourists give up completely because the process is exhausting. Meanwhile, other countries get their approvals in weeks. Should the US fix this system? Should Sri Lankans get a fairer process? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Smash that like button if you think this needs to change, and don't go anywhere because number one will leave you speechless. Nanda's hands trembled as he checked his email. Months of waiting, thousands of dollars spent, every document triple checked. He had done everything right, a full scholarship, a dream university, even a return ticket. But when he clicked on the email, your visa application has been denied. No explanation, no second chance. And for Nanda, a future stolen in a single sentence. If you're from Myanmar, the US doesn't just reject you, they erase the possibility of entry altogether. Approval rate, close to 0%. Political instability, automatic disqualification. US embassy, almost non-functional. You could be rich, educated, have a perfect travel record, none of it matters. Myanmar's government is unstable. The US sees travelers as high risk. Sanctions are in place. That means strict travel bans and visa restrictions. The embassy barely processes visas. Some reports say approvals are as low as 2%. You're not applying for a visa, you're walking into a dead end. The real consequences: families are torn apart, relatives in the US can't visit home, and loved ones in Myanmar can't leave. Students lose their dreams, no matter how smart, how hardworking, how deserving. Businesses suffer, Myanmar's economy weakens as global opportunities disappear. And yet some countries get their visas in days. Should the US loosen its grip or keep Myanmar locked out forever? What do you think?